Although I was initially taken aback, I now understand that I cannot respond to every baseless charge made by the media. Diddy's legal team is pleading with the court to step in and asking for silence. They contend that these irrational accusations are merely attempts to obtain money and label the more than 100 anonymous lawsuits as ludicrous and fraudulent. They also want a gag order because they fear he would interfere with witnesses. Diddy's attorneys have disclosed information regarding his incarceration pending trial for sex trafficking, racketeering, and employing transportation for prostitution. The most difficult aspect of Diddy's incarceration, according to his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, has been getting used to the food. According to the Federal Bureau of Prisons manual, inmates can purchase food from the commissary, which includes tuna, chili, honey buns, cashews, protein bars, and Spam. They can also choose from a variety of meal alternatives, including heart-healthy or no-meat diets.
Sean Diddy Combs' lawyers are giving more insight into how the music mogul is adjusting in jail. After the rapper was ordered to remain in prison to await his trial on charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and using transportation to engage in prostitution, Diddy's lawyer Mark Agnifilo describes Diddy's most difficult adjustment while in detention. He tells reporters outside of a New York courthouse October 10th per New York Daily News, quote, "I think the food's probably the roughest part of it." According to a Federal Bureau of Prisons handbook obtained by E! News, the detention center offers regular heart-healthy and no-flesh dietary options to its inmates, as well as access to purchase food from the commissary. Food options on the commissary list include tuna and chili sauce, honey buns, cashews, instant grits, protein bars, and Spam. Diddy's other attorney, Anthony L. Rico, adds that the 54-year-old is, quote, making an adjustment amid his legal setback. According to NBC News, he says, quote, "Sometimes the more you push a person down, the stronger they get. Nobody's okay with staying in jail." Diddy has pleaded not guilty to the charges and is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Amid his incarceration, Diddy has been placed on suicide watch. It's a common practice that is not indicative of the mental state for high-profile individuals upon admittance to a federal facility. Diddy's trial is set for May 5th, 2025, with the Grammy winner likely to testify in court. His attorney previously said in TMZ's documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, the indictment, quote, "I think he's very eager to tell his story." Mark also said in a previous statement to E! News following Diddy's arrest, quote, "These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide. He looks forward to clearing his name in court."
Diddy's legal team appeared in court once more on Thursday, October 10th, for a status hearing. This was Diddy's third effort to get out of jail on bail pending his trial. The arrival of a new judge and a new legal team, headed by Alexandra Shapiro, constituted a significant shift. They pointed out that there was insufficient evidence to support the prosecution's allegations of witness tampering. They stressed that Diddy's freedom was at risk and contended that although discussions and purported dates were referenced, no hard evidence was offered. According to related reports, Thea Graves' lawsuit, in which she accused Diddy of rape and said his security man allegedly attacked her, took a new phase. According to TMZ, they were able to collect text messages between Graves and her ex-boyfriend, in which Graves allegedly promised him money in exchange for supporting her account. Her case might be harmed by the ex-boyfriend's confirmation that these texts were genuine. Graves' attorney refuted the allegations, but if the communications are confirmed, it may undermine her case against Diddy and harm her reputation. Numerous claims of sexual misconduct involving kids are another
Sean Diddy
aspect
Combs
of
is
Diddy's
accused of
legal
abusing
issues.
more than
These
2
might
dozen
alter his
minors
defense
amid
plan
new
if they are
allegations
validated.
against him.
Diddy's attorney
After the rapper
adamantly
was arrested
refuted any
September
allegations
16th
of
for
abuse,
charges of sex trafficking,
emphasizing that
racketeering,
children
and transportation
cannot
to
give
engage in
consent for sexual
prostitution,
conduct.
120 people have come forward to accuse the 54-year-old of sexual assault, including more than 2 dozen who were allegedly minors at the time. In an October 1st press conference per NBC News, Tony Busby, an attorney representing the new group of accusers, said 25 of the accusers were minors at the time of the alleged incidents, with some occurring as early as 1991. The attorney further alleged that one of the accusers was just 9 years old at the time that they were assaulted by Combs. The numerous allegations Busby noted included violent sexual assault or rape, facilitated sex with a controlled substance, dissemination of video recordings, and sexual abuse of minors. Busby, who said 3,000 people have come forward with accusations against Combs, did not specify the extent of the alleged abuse against the minors included in the planned lawsuit. The attorney added that he plans to continue to file lawsuits in various states within the next 30 days. Busby said of the accusers who have come forward, 62% identify as African American and mostly hail from New York, California, Georgia, and Florida. He added, "It's a long list already, but because of the nature of this case, we are going to make sure, damn sure, that we are right before we do that." The attorney explained that he will later name additional defendants in the cases, some of whom will, quote, shock the public. Busby said during the press conference, "We will expose the enablers who enabled this conduct behind closed doors. We will pursue this matter no matter who the evidence implicates." As Combs remains in custody at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, his lawyer emphasizes that the rapper continues to maintain his innocence. Erica Wolf, an attorney for Combs, tells E! News in a statement he cannot address every meritless allegation in what has become a reckless media circus. That said, Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he sexually abused anyone, including minors.
Regarding his client's incarceration, Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, stated that he was not suicidal and stayed committed to his defense. Despite being put on suicide watch as a precaution, Diddy was said to be strong and confident. Concerns about security and privacy have prevented the Federal Bureau of Prisons from commenting on his circumstances.
Sean Diddy Combs' lawyer is giving an update on the rapper and his time in prison. The rap mogul has been placed on suicide watch at the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York City, where he's currently being held without bond after being arrested and charged with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. A source tells NBC News that the decision to put the music producer on suicide watch is routine, calling it, quote, procedural with high-profile clients. Diddy's lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, also tells TMZ that after spending hours with the Bad Boy Entertainment founder in federal lockup, he viewed his client as, quote, not at all suicidal, calling him, quote, strong, healthy, confident, and focused on his defense. The Metropolitan Detention Center tells E! News, quote, for privacy, safety, and security reasons, the Federal Bureau of Prisons does not provide information about conditions of confinement or internal security practices for any particular incarcerated individual. E! News has reached out to Diddy's lawyer for comment and has not yet heard back. Following Diddy's September 16th arrest, Agnifilo shared with the court that his client is in therapy. According to NBC News, Diddy's lawyer said during the hearing, quote, he is not a perfect person. There has been drug use. He's been in toxic relationships, adding that Diddy is receiving, quote, treatment and therapy for things that he needs treatment and therapy for. Following his arrest, a federal indictment was unsealed and obtained by NBC News detailing Diddy's charges. The rapper's team has maintained his innocence, with Diddy pleading not guilty to all the charges during a September 17th arraignment. A federal judge denied a $50 million bond proposal September 18th, and Diddy is next due in court October 9th.
With numerous accusers and grave accusations, Diddy's legal situation is complex, making it challenging for his team to obtain a fair trial. The hearing was crucial in determining whether Diddy could continue to fight the case behind bars or prepare his defense outside of jail. Diddy's attorney stated that Diddy was keen to have his reputation cleared in court before his trial, which is set for May 5, 2025. His staff has asked for a gag order to stop remarks that might sway the trial as they deal with the intense media attention. As the investigation progresses, the identities of the several celebrities allegedly connected to Diddy's case may be made public. Several persons who were aware of the alleged misbehavior did nothing to stop it, according to attorney Tony Busby, who represents more than 100 accusers.
There are other celebrities involved in the Diddy case, and some of their names may be coming out, according to the attorney who is representing more than 100 accusers now. Tony Busby, we spoke to him on TMZ Live, and he said that
a lot of people allowed it to go on, said nothing, didn't intervene, maybe benefited from it, profited from it. All of these individuals and entities, in my view, have exposure here.
He's actually sent demand letters saying this is what we know you're involved in. He's saying involved in the sense that even if they didn't drug somebody or participate in that, he feels like they're liable to a point where they should pay up.
And now it just feels like a money grab.
On the other side, they call it legalized extortion.
If these celebrities were at that party, saw bad things happening, didn't say anything, they get what's coming to them.
What?
Because they should have spoke up.
We have an obligation to rat out everybody we know when they do bad things?
If you don't stop them, are you responsible?
I feel like you should be.
If you see one of your coworkers sleeping while they should be on the job at LAX, is that a problem?
Diddy's defense team voiced worries that his right to a fair trial would be impacted by remarks made in public. They contended that remarks made to the media by prospective witnesses and their attorneys might sway the jury. In order to maintain the impartiality of the trial, they requested that the court forbid such remarks.
Combs' lawyers are now saying all of the public commentary regarding these lawsuits, regarding the criminal case, it needs to stop. And so now we're going to go into this letter to Judge Subramanian. So the letter starts, quote, "We write on behalf of our client Sean Combs, pursuant to Local Rule 23.1 and the 5th and 6th Amendments, to request an order prohibiting further extrajudicial statements from prospective witnesses and their lawyers that substantially interfere with Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial." Now, the 6th Amendment concerns rights about ensuring a defendant gets a fair trial. The 5th Amendment, among other things, ensures a person isn't deprived of life, liberty, or process without due process. And Local Rule 23.1 of the Southern District of New York, where, by the way, this case is being prosecuted, governs what a lawyer who is participating or associated with a criminal case, including prosecutors, lawyers for targets, lawyers for subjects, lawyers for witnesses, what they can and cannot say out of court about the case. Well, Combs' attorneys are saying that Combs, like every other defendant, has a right to a fair trial that's not unduly influenced by prejudicial statements that are made to the media. The main concern, generally speaking, is you do not want to poison a potential jury pool in a case. And with all of these comments that are amplified across the media, amplified across social media networks, that can be a problem. A defendant is entitled to an impartial jury. For Combs, these comments could prejudice that. I mean, you have a potential trial date not too far away, May 2025, and pretrial publicity is a major concern, and it's a major concern in a very high-profile case where potential jurors are seeing all of this, and it's influencing their opinions. And that's why you need sometimes the courts to step in to impose a gag order, and that is what Sean Combs' defense team seems to be asking for here. That's what they're essentially asking for. And by the way, they say this is their last resort. There are no other remedies to curb this danger, this risk.
The defense emphasized that, as is typical in federal prosecutions, they had not named any witnesses or victims. Due to this lack of identification, Diddy's attorneys viewed each accuser as a possible witness, further complicating the case's public discourse.
And now to the torrent of sexual assault allegations filed against Sean Diddy Combs just this week alone.
Yeah, now his defense team is asking the federal judge to start revealing who his accusers are. They say that's the only way that they can prepare and have a fair trial.
Pix 11's Anthony DiLorenzo is live in Lower Manhattan after pouring through the newest court filings. Anthony.
Well, Shirley, Diddy's been behind bars since his arrest last month, and now his attorneys say they want to know who the women are that are accusing him, as well as some men, so that they can mount a vigorous defense on his behalf. Sean Diddy Combs fighting back from behind bars amid a wave of new accusers coming forward this week. His attorneys filing this motion in his criminal sex trafficking case, asking the judge to allow the names of his alleged victims be made known. Attorney Mark Agnifilo blaming a hysterical media circus that could deprive Diddy of a fair trial, saying Combs should have the right to respond to allegations of uncredited accusers in civil and criminal court. Ashley Parham's attorney says she wanted her name and story out there.
We have a lot of situations, especially in this arena, where we have accusers seemingly hiding behind a moniker, like the pseudonym Jane Doe.
Parham alleges she was drugged and gang raped in 2018 by the bad boy mogul in California. The plaintiff claims she reported the alleged incident to multiple law enforcement agencies, but none took her complaint seriously.
I have no reason to doubt her story. I have had her tell me this story multiple times.
Combs Camp calling the 100-plus anonymous lawsuits false and outright absurd, saying the guessing game of baseless allegations is designed to exact a payoff. Gloria Allred represents another accuser and threatened action should anyone use this information for intimidation.
In conclusion, Diddy's legal team is trying to control the media narrative in order to manage his prison sentence, preserve his mental health, and guarantee a fair trial. Now that the trial date has been set, the legal disputes and media attention will probably continue. Therefore, it is imperative that all parties adhere to the law and make sure justice is done. Please share your opinions in the comments section below. That's all for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth stories on entertainment. We appreciate your time and hope to see you at the next one.